All right, so I'll say, so we are continuing. We actually last week, and again I apologize, everything is posted on the WhatsApp chat. So last week we spoke a little bit about electricity and the prohibition of using electricity, and the machlokes about what exactly is the issue with electricity. So if you're remembering, we had a three-way machlokes over here. So the first opinion brought down was the opinion of Rav Kook and Rav Uziel that use of electricity is mamish havara. That they consider the use of electricity ultimately like kindling a fire. And the logic, what was the logic behind that? The logic behind that was that havara doesn't necessarily have to merely mean a fire. Rather, or I should say, the definition of fire doesn't just have to be what we usually think about as fire, but rather fire is any entity that is capable of affecting comprehensive and cathartic change. So just like when you light a fire, that fire goes ahead and affects comprehensive cathartic change. So too, when a person goes ahead and turns on electricity, that also affects a comprehensive cathartic change as well. So that does Rav Kook, Rav Uziel. The Chazon Ish, that the use of electricity is bona, is building. And then the third opinion, so this is I think where we left off on page 15, Uladas Rabim, and again I apologize, I will say hopefully our copy machine will get hooked up in the next day or so, but right now it's on the WhatsApp chat. Uladas Rabim, hafalas machshirim chashmaliyim, she'ein boim chut lahat, ve'inam mevatzim melacha, b'lamates melachos, asura medivrei chachamim, mishum shimaisa shel chol. Third opinion says, it's not havara. Why is it not havara? Because there's no flame that's there. It's not really bona, right? Because what exactly is it that you're building? So what is it? It's uvda d'chol, weekday activity. So again, because it resembles, and we saw this last week a little bit, uvda d'chol is kind of like one of those catch-all categories. You know, what's included in uvda d'chol? Weekday activity. So what's weekday activity? A little bit amorphous, a little bit ambiguous. We're actually going to study that together. Now he goes on, he says, Aval Isra Me'atorah ein bazeh, hoil ve'ein eish rachshim. But according to this third approach, there is no Isra Da'oraisa by electricity, since ultimately, again, there is no flame. There's no flame that's there, therefore no electricity. Aval Isra Me'atorah, he says, V'gam ein bahad lakasam Isra bona, ki lo shaykh lahagdir ma'agal chashmali kekli. And further, so again, this third opinion says like this. You can't call electricity havara. Why? Because you're not actually lighting a flame. That's number one. You can't call it bona. Why? Because we'll say, because interestingly enough, in order for something to be subject to bona, it has to be one of two things. It has to be a kli. Really, it has to be a kli. It has to be a utensil. So electricity is not binyan. It's not building, right? It's not a kli. So because it's not a kli, therefore, again, it can't be binyan either. So this is the position of Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, Rav Eliezer of Oldenburg, the Tzitz Eliezer. So this is our three-way machlokes about the use of electricity. So again, Rav Kook and Rav Uziel, it's havara, it's kindling. The Chazon Ish, it's bona. And then Rav Shlomo Zalman and Rav Oldenburg, Tzitz Eliezer, it is uvda d'chol. Okay, so now we'll say, so what do you do with this? So look what he writes at the bottom of page 15. L'maisa, yesh lochush l'deah hasoveres, shafala chashmalis, asura me'atorah. He says, in reality, we have to conduct ourselves in a way that we essentially are choshesh for the opinion that says it's an Isra D'Oraisa. So essentially what we have over here is a suffix. Is this an Isra D'Oraisa? Is it an Isra D'Rabbanan? So again, because you're dealing with a suffix Isra D'Oraisa, you have to go l'chumrah. You essentially have to be stringent, and therefore you have to treat electricity as if it is an Isra D'Oraisa. Now here's what's interesting. Now here's what's interesting. So we're going to treat electricity like it's an Isra D'Oraisa. On the other hand, we recognize there are these other opinions. Right? There are these other opinions. So because there are these other opinions, when you have other factors to allow you to be makel, b'shas hadcha kasher yesh sibos no safos lahakel, when there are other reasons to be makel, somchin ala sovrim shafala chashmalis asurim divrei chachamim. So this is interesting that halacha l'maisa. So we find this a lot in halacha, where sometimes you could paskin right in a machmir way for something, but then yet when you have an extenuating circumstance, you could paskin l'kula when you also include other factors into that. So now that I know that, so practically we'll treat electricity like it's fire. And therefore, halacha l'maisa, again, it's going to be asr midaraisa. But practically, when there is an extenuating circumstance, so if we could include other potential factors, then we could potentially be makel on cases of electricity as well. Now, if you take a look at Mishkan.
Was done to heat up for the dyes?
For the herbs, yeah.
So, didn't we say about my mind when we said that the one thing, if you're doing it in the field, it's only halachically a problem if you do it in the field, because that was the malach. The malach was done to, so electricity, and I don't tend to know the way that electricity works, I just switch it goes on. But the way that electricity works, yes, there's a little fire created, but it's not the purpose of whatever you're doing it to power something. You're not doing it to cook. You're not doing it to. Sorry, the John's answer.
Guys are here to drop off cabinets right here. I guess they came from New Jersey.
Cabinets where they are Kodesh.
Maybe that's where they're dropping off. He said, "Can you show me a picture of this room?"
Ask them if it's the ark. If it's the ark, they could even just begin to put it in here now.
Just put it in.
So, yeah, where do they want to put it?
They want to bring it in here.
All right, Chaburah, give me literally 1 second.
Sorry.